spinner, left-arm spinner. So let us welcome Mr. Roger Wijesuriya this evening. Good evening, Roger.
Good evening, Peter.
Just let me throw the first question. How do you initially start cricket, and what was your people who guided you to start cricket initially?
Coming on to that, Amit, my mother's brother, that is Ian Bartholow, way back in early 60s, he captained the St. Sebastian side. So we had some cricketing background in that manner. Trevor uncle and Ian uncle, both my mother's, the two brothers. And after that, the thing is, with my father, always he's in the police. He was getting transferred, and the last transfer was to Moratuwa, where we came, and he was in Colombo. So, because I started my school really from Ingiriya Gamnima, because he was the OIC in that area. Then from there I came to Quadrangle. So from year 2 only I came to St. Sebastian's College. So I can't remember how we started everything, but to tell you, because we were very close to the seaside in that lane, and it was, when you say cricket in Moratuwa, it's a crazy town. So we used to play softball cricket, lane cricket. That's how it really started. And then maybe under 11 or under 13, there would have been a practice session or whatever it is. And I started playing, and I started moving from there onwards.
Yes, as Roger mentioned, Moratuwa has produced very many Sri Lankan cricketers over the years. Roger, you played from 1975 to 79 at St. Sebastian's. Can you go through that period of time of playing cricket for the school?
Yeah, because really to 72 I started my cricketing career at St. Sebastian's, and 75 to 79 that was in the first 11 side. And good old days it was under 14, under 16 and the first level. And we didn't have a second level side at St. Sebastian's. Now only we have started. Maybe the big schools like St. Thomas's, St. Peter's, St. Joseph's, they would have had their second level sides, but not in Moratuwa. Coming on to 75 to 79, that was the first 11 season for me. And I was the baby of the team when I started. And 75, I went through that season, 76, and it was nice to see 5 years playing for the school. And many cricketers, I think I would have enjoyed playing against the St. Sebastian, Prince Always, the big matches, going back to, I can say Hemal Mendes, Lantra, Viranta from our side, Susil Fernando, Rodney Pereira, Milroy Paul, Sonu Vikramanayaka. So many cricketers, that was the era 70s that produced from Moratuwa. And another thing, Amita, up to 78, the two schools, when they were playing the big matches, it was one year at St. Sebastian's, 1 year it was on Prince Always. And 79 in my year, that was the first time where we came to the Moratuwa Stadium.
Yes, as you said, my year, that's the year that Roger Wijesuriya captained St. Sebastian's in 1979, where the match was played at the Moratuwa Stadium. Roger, will you share us through the season and the big match itself?
Yeah, 79, before that, 78 I can remember, the Australians came here, the under-19s, under Dirk Wellham. And they had Rod McAdee, Dirk Wellham, Matthews, so many cricketers like that. And Ranjan Madugala was the captain at that time. And same time, Guy Dialvis, that was the era where we played together. So that was in 78, that was the season there. Then 79 early, January, the Pakistan side came here. So in that series, Guy Dialvis captained the side and I was the vice captain. And to tell you frankly, I had a very good tour on that team in Sri Lanka, and I was picked as the main best all-rounder, where I took 25 wickets in that series. And I can remember January I didn't play any school matches in that era, but after that I started playing again, and with these 25 wickets and the school career, I can remember I took over 110 wickets, and the big match came, and that was something there. Then going on to extend that, I can remember the West Indies side came here, and that was a side where they had some problems, and Beckers and Gomes, and that was a lot that came here, and Sylvester Clark, I can remember. I got a 3-day game to play against West Indies because I did so well in that Pakistan thing, and Abu Ford was the main person who was behind that scene in that era, and I can say Major General Hine, and that was the era. So I got a 3-day match. Still I can remember playing at CCC, and I took 4 wickets for 60 odd by bowling about 30 odd overs. So that was with the Pakistan thing, the ace board match I played, and with that performance, 3 schoolboys were picked to go for the under 1979 World Cup. Ranjan Madugala, Pascal and myself. So we were the 3 schoolboys who went on that World Cup.
Yes, 1979 was it? That's the year.
That's it.
So what was that experience, and what did you feel of being selected for the World Cup?
That was great because as a schoolboy, when you are around about 19 years representing the country, and same time Amita playing against Bandula Varnapura, under Tennokon captain the side, Ajit Disilwa, Kalu Peruma, then D.S. Disilwa. So that was the era that where I played, and I was a schoolboy in that manner. And first we had to qualify for the ICC. Before the World Cup we had the qualified matches. So we became the ICC champions first. And after that we had I think 18 to 19 in the pool, and only 15 were selected for the World Cup. So I was not selected for the 15 squad. But that was the experience where I started playing for the country.
So Roger, let's have a chat about your club cricket. I think you started at a very early stage playing for Catamarans. Just run us through that period of starting very early for club cricket.
That's again, Amita, 14 years I can remember, I played for Catamarans. And during that time from Moroto, it was Moroto SC and Catamarans only. We didn't have Sebastianite, Moroto CC, old Cambridge, there was nothing like that. And when I was playing for Cats, still I can remember like SCG Pereira, Sydney uncle we used to call, Bandura uncle, Clarence, and most of the Sebastianites, the old boys were playing for Cats. So that's how I started there, and that was a big learning process because these people always, they got the maximum out of the schoolboy and they guided us. So that was a great era where I can remember seeing their experience, working with them, and they nurtured us very well. I think today sometimes most of the schools even we don't see children not playing any club matches during their school time, and maybe because of their studies and everything, but outstations I see most of them they play, but that's a very good thing to play. So coming on to Catamarans, after that Sebastianite formed their club, and Daily News, we started from the Daily News, that was Division 3, we became champions. And Division 2 it came, we became champions again. Then we came to Sara, so Division 1. And all three these, up to this period, still I was in school.
Roger, I think you started your club career very early, at the age of 14. Can you go through that period of starting early and your memories and your performances of those years?
Yes, Amit, when it's come to the club cricket, at Moroto it was only Moroto SC and Catamarans. And Catamarans were playing in the Division 3, that's Daily News. And way back, I was just about 14 years, and we started. And I can remember playing under SCG Pereira, Bandula Uncle, Clarence, most of the old boys from St. Sebastian's. And it was a great learning process because these people were veterans and always guiding us. And when I was very young, but the main thing is they got the maximum out of us, and they gave that encouragement, and the path was shown to us. And going from there, Sebastian started forming their club, and it was first the Dale News, the Division 3, we became champions. Then Division 2 started, again we became champions, and the Sara. So all three these divisions Sebastian is going through. Still I was in school, and I can remember the happy parties. Gerald Mendes, that is Dilip Mendes' brother, was playing. Sara Pereira, Sunil Vikramanayaka, Basil Pereira, so many cricketers. And even you won't believe the practices, even sometimes most of these boys were working for Ceylon Tobacco, and they were traveling from Kandy. And Friday when the work is finished, Saturday early morning we used to have a practice session. So that's how we started. And the people who were working only, because we were schoolboys, they were contributing 10 rupees to get the ball and everything. And I can still remember, even during the lunchtime, even the home side, the away side, actually we gave the lunch. But we were from Moratu and it was so close by, we used to get on to our push bicycles and had our lunch and came back. So that was another way of going through. And I can still remember coming down to the Sara, Sebastianites beating Coles. And that was a huge victory for us, because Sebastianite was just starting, and when you see Coles, a veteran club and everything, with so many Sri Lankan players. So that was a nice era to see coming through. Then later on, I can say the old Cambian started, then the Moratu CC came, and the Moratu SC. So when we were small, I can remember the Moratu SC matches. I used to go to the Moratu Stadium and watch. And it was always, Moratu means children who are watching cricket and playing cricket, softball cricket. But today, unfortunately, we don't see that much of children playing their softball cricket in the streets even, and not watching even. And I can remember when it's come to Prince Awais grounds even, on the Gall Road itself, you will see there's no place to stand there even, because so many people are watching. And it was great. 70s, I can remember, because we were mainly in the 70s era. Both schools, St. Sebastian and Prince Awais, produced so many good cricketers. I can say Hemal Mendes, Viranta, Pemlal, and from our side, Susil Fernando, Rodney Pereira, Milroy Paul, Sunil Vikramanayaka, before that, Chrysanthus Pereira, then even Dilip Mendes played for St. Sebastian's. Then after that only he moved to St. Thomas's. So Moratu means it's cricket.
That's right, and I think the commitment of contributing 10 rupees, going home for lunch, all those memories Roger and his teammates have gone through, a lot of commitment by those cricketers of yesteryears. Roger, let us go through that period where you joined the SSC and played with some of the great names, as we discussed before we got on to the chat. Just can you go through that?
Yes, after Sebastianites, I started working for Stafford Motors, and during that time Mitra Betamani was the main person, and it came under D'Souza people. And I can remember playing for SSC, and during that time that was called the Honda Trophy, the under 25. First year Siddharth Betamani captain the SSC side, and we couldn't get into the finals. But second year where I captained, it was a great year, like Kendi Alvis, Stefan Anthony, so many people, and we became champions. So that was another nice period. And I can give you a small incident. I was working for Stafford Motors, like I told you, and I used to come for practices. One day Siddharth asked, Roger, how are you traveling? I said, by bus, and that's all. And he said, why don't you come to my place? I've been having a bicycle, why don't you take that? So I went home, and still I can remember the The motorcycle, the C70, H3 5889. So that he gave to me. And again coming on to Stafford Motors, a cricket inside. 1 year, to tell you Amita, there were 8 cricketers who went from Stafford Motors. Starting with Mitra, Siddharth, Sunil. Then Asanta Dimel was there, D.S. Disil was there, Vinodhan John was there, Johan Gunasekar was there, then myself, Salla was there, Dhammika Ranatunga was there, Deepal Dharmasekara, and that was a side. So once again, we enjoyed at Stafford Motors.
Then your career at CCC, playing for the CCC club career, there again, I think I knew you at that time.
Yeah.
We used to follow you playing for CCC.
Yeah,
Anything that you like to share with
Yeah,
us?
before going to CCC, when I was at SSC, Waterside, I can say, once again, the 3 Vetamunis, Roy and Dulla, that's 5. Then Ranil Abhinayaka, your brother, what a player, right? And Asanta Dimels, then Charlie Hangama, TMS Saldin, and myself and Guy Alvis. That was the 11. And to tell you frankly, I enjoyed, but from my point of view, my contribution was not good enough. One thing was, when it's come to a big game like Bloomfield or Tamil Union, those were the games where I could bowl more overs. If not, Sali Hangama, Asanta Dimel and Saldin, they used to go through the size and that's the end of the story. So I would have been taking 2 for 10, 2 wickets, 3 wickets, that was the maximum, not bowling even 5-10 overs. So one incident I can remember, playing for SSC, I got a century. And Dilip Mendes, just before lunch I think, he was having a small stomach problem. Then he asked whether somebody can bat. Normally Asanta Dimel is the first to put his hand up and say, I will go and bat. I said, Dima, don't go. Today my chance, I am going. And playing against Saracens. And I went and batted and I got a century in that match. So going to CCC, mainly it was nothing to do with the SSC club or anything like that. But I thought for my progress and where I can contribute more, then I shifted to CCC. So when I went there again, great to see Michael Cicera captain the side and playing under him, it was another experience. And I can remember first round he played, and second round when it came to the final round, he said that's it, he's stopping. And I think Shami Silva took over the captaincy and I went through like that. And following year I captained the side, CCC, and we won the championship. So that was another era. I will show you some photograph in that thing, like Sumitra Wijesuriya, Jurampati, Asanga Sinratna, Adi Deva Surendra, Graham Lebroy, Kaushik Kamalin. That was a lot. Once again, a very young side. And that year, it was, Amita, it was the first day we started around about 1:30. That was on Fridays. Then Saturday and Sunday, so it was a 2.5 day cricket. And it was a league. And I can remember 16 matches we had. We won the championship. And once again, Amita, we had 10 outrights. Right? And I took something about 90 odd wickets in that year. Then Kaushik Kamalin, Kaushik Kamalin and Lebroy also took more wickets. Sumitra Wijesuriya scored 1,000 runs. So that was another good time to play. Once again, I can remember another good incident. Playing against Moratuwa, CCC, we were just having only 11 players. And where Michael Cicera, he came to witness the match. And those days actually you don't have to declare 12 names and 15 names, nothing like that. I don't know, something happened. We were short of a reserve also. You won't believe somebody got injured to see Michael Cicera walk into the field. So in that time, playing for the country, a big figurehead, but that was the sporty side, what I saw. So that's, I can still remember that match and how Michael came to the field also.
Yes, Roger, as you said, Michael Cicera, what a great cricketing personality, contributed so much, and a very humble human being, still follows cricket, very much involved with sports and especially schools cricket. Roger, anything more that you like to share on your club experiences?
Yeah, because CCC, then Owen Matau was there, I can remember, and we had an A-side tour to Zimbabwe. And Roy Dice captained that side. Michael went as the manager. I think, to tell you frankly, Amita, that was the tour where I really would have started my cricket for the country also. Because although I started very early, I think I was not there really. Would have been, to get my experience would have been okay. But this A-side tour, where we went to Zimbabwe, where Roy captained, previous Zimbabwe tour where the Sri Lanka side went, I think they defeated us. So all were really behind to see how we are going to fare, and it was a very young side. Atul Samasekara, Hashan Tilakaratne, Ashley Silva, Bulankulame, yes, then Madhuru Singh, Nilanta Ratnayaka, so many cricketers, right? So many cricketers went on this tour, and we did very well, and we beat them. And that's another tour where I would have been actually, because I became the best bowler. I took 25 wickets in that series also, and I was just 28 years. And I think in my cricketing career, thinking about the country, that would have been the time where I would have started. But unfortunately, I didn't get selected for the next tour. So I think when they say, Amita, spinners mature late, and normally they say 28, 30 years, even if you take Ranganehirath, even he came somewhere around close to 30. There may be people who will start a bit early and they will go through. So, but on that tour, CCC, once again, we became champions. And hats off to Owen Matau. I think CCC, we had 6 cricketers who went on this tour to Zimbabwe. But still, somehow, Owen managed to get this young side, and we came to the finals against Gaul. But I don't know, unfortunately, Owen didn't stay because he went to Australia, and we became champions. So, coming on to CCC cricket, Michael Cicera captained that side, somewhere around 70s, we became champions. Second time it was me, 83, 84 somewhere. 88 under Owen Matau. Then in 1996, I coached the CCC side. Under Jaram Jayaratne, we became champions. So I've been there 83, 88 and 96, 3 championships I got involved for CCC. Then again after that, Rupa Singh captain, Rupa Singh I think, they became champions, and very recently I think under Ashan Priyanjana's captaincy we won. So CCC, not many championships, but this is the way it has gone through. So I actually played for Catamans, Sebastianites, SSC, CCC. Then after that, for a short while, I went to Moratu and played. I captained the side, and that time, that was another fantastic side. Kamini Pereira, Ajit Vasanta, Chandana Mahesh, even Nishant Ranatunga came and played with me. So those 2 years. Then finishing that, we were down in Hettiavat because my father was in the police, and those days whenever I had the time, I used to go to St. Benedict's for practices, because whatever said, I am a Sebastianites, Dilasa brothers, so I had that connection, so I went to St. Benedict's also very frequently. And Vanaguru was coaching there, and Vanaguru went to Dubai or some maybe Middle East, one of the Middle East countries, and Ranjit Fernando was coming on and off. So Ranjit said, Roger, you've been coming here, why don't you take up the thing and start? So I did for 3 years there, and that was another good time. I can remember like Basil Noya, then Hevage, then Felix. They were the people who really helped them, and we had a very good time. And again after that, Nishanta said, Roger, you are still young, why don't you come to Coles and give us some support? So I went to Coles for a year also, right? Then after Coles, I came to CCC 96, and that was my club season, how I went through. But CCC latter part, I thought like the Catamans, the veterans gave the best to the youngsters. Now we have come to that end, we must give the best to the youngsters. And I can remember I used to play in the Daily News. I played in the Division 2 also, just to support the youngsters. right? So that is the way the baton was given to the youngsters in that era. So from there onwards, because I will talk to you on the mercantile sector.
Yes, I think that's a great achievement for Roger Wijesuriya. Being a player in a champion side and thereafter coaching a side to become champions for CCC, a great achievement. Roger, let's go through your mercantile career. I think, as you said earlier, you started off at Stafford Motors.
Yes.
Just run through that period of playing for mercantile and the championship.
Yes, Stafford Motors, we started playing, and I can remember one match. That's the incident where I can remember playing against Tobacco and playing at Bloomfield grounds. First day we played the match. Second day, it rained really, very heavily it rained. And I was traveling from Kotehena. I couldn't go on time. I got late to go. But when I went to the grounds, big how to see on the Rebel Tour, all the players have gone. Right? So even they thought that I have gone. But the incident was because of the rain only. But to tell you, from Stafford Motors, we didn't miss a single boy who went on that tour. Where Bandula and that lot, Tony Opata went on that tour. So from Stafford Motors, after that, Dhammik was with me. And Arjuna was at Mercantile Credit. He was just starting. And he started forming a cricket side, like Sujiva Wijesuriya, Prasad Hevage. And he has asked Dhammika whether we can take Roger. So somehow I joined Mercantile Credit and we started in a lower division. And after that, Amita, to tell you, we were under the insurance company, right? Mercantile Credit, they closed it, then became ACW, became Union Insurance. But I can say Mercantile Credit, playing for ACW and Union Insurance, you name any cricketer, all have played there. Because so many cricketers came under that wing with Arjuna. And even practices, everything, we took it so serious, like playing for the country. And we went all out. And the credit must go to Padma Gunasekara, who has expired now. But still, we were sales reps. But he didn't allow us just to wait. He said, work, 2:30, 3 o'clock, you can go for practices. But do your job, because there will be a time when it comes, you'll be stopping your cricket and your career can go in that the other way. So once again, Amita, I have to touch and tell you, today the present generation, the children are not working. Sad to say. Most of the school boys, either they go to Australia to earn something, or they play in the mercantile sectors for a short while. Sometimes they don't know where they sit even. They don't have a chair and a desk even. But they get their salaries. That is wrong, in my way. Because they must work and they must make it a career. Because every day they are not going to be youngsters or single. They have to start as a family. So there were good things during that era. If you take all the cricketers, the old cricketers, when they ended up, either they were CEOs or in a big way, right? You take anybody. But I am a bit sad to say the present generation is not moving in that manner.
So that's good food for thought. Roger mentioning about how to strike a balance between playing cricket and taking your job, the working job, seriously, because as he says, once you stop playing cricket, then you have to look at your career, your families, all that. So it's very important. So good food for thought, Roger. Thank you for that. So let's get on to your Sri Lanka career, 1982 to 1992, if I'm correct. Just how did you enter into the team? What was your first selection? What were the first matches that you played?
Like I told you, Amita, the Pakistan tour made the difference in 79 as a schoolboy. Then I went on that 79 World Cup. So 79 was the first year where I started playing for the country. And to tell you, going on that tour, it was a great thing. But the amount of bowlers we had, now today it's the other way it goes. More fast bowlers are going, not many spinners, maximum 1 or 2 spinners. Earlier, it was the other way. You won't see a fast bowler going, maybe maximum 1 or 2, and more spinners. So my time, it was Ajit De Silva number 1, DS De Silva number 2, Lalit Kaluperumo number 3, Jagannathan goes, myself goes, 5 spinners, we are traveling. And in my era, I think Ajit De Silva was the best, right? Kalu and everybody was there. So But still, we managed to play the county matches. Sometimes when you play and take 5 wickets even, next match sometimes you are not playing because the seniors are not playing because they had to get a place and they had to keep on going. And not like today, the tours, once in 6 months only you get a tour. So, went to Pakistan for 2 test series. No, that was not my tour, to tell you frankly. I would have bowled and bowled and bowled, but the figures and everything shows, no, I'm not there. So, like I told you, 22, 23 years during that time, maybe 25. But in between, I used to play 1 or 2 one-day games. And 88 was my tour, I think that was the the Zimbabwe tour. And after that even still, I didn't have a regular place, to tell you frankly. And they were trying, and fair enough. And it was okay for me because in my case, when one door shuts even, you have a better door, right? And during that time we enjoyed our cricket, we played our club cricket, we worked, right? So it was not a great thing to say, I have got dropped, and no, we kept on going for practices. If the tour was on, we used to play. If not, there was nothing to worry, and just we kept on going. But to tell you frankly, not like today, they were not really professionals. like we were like amateurs and like maybe semi-professionals. We didn't take it that serious because we had to work and do the other things. But same time, my mercantile sector working, I enjoyed, and on the sales side, I was in the sales side. The last 2 years, I became the champion of champions there. So that doesn't say one thing is shut and the other thing. So I really went on with my office side, on the mercantile side, to a great height there. Then turning back to the coaching, once again, I enjoyed that. So maybe there's nothing to say this is the way to go and finish the race or something. There's nothing, it's not a destination, it's a journey. I always, Amita, I believe in a mountain, even when you are climbing, I won't climb to the top. Whenever I come to that 75, 80 mark, I will take another mountain and I'll start climbing. So different opportunities will come, and you have to see what's the best at the moment where you are enjoying. Right? So that is my top career and the mercantile sectors. And after about 2003, I left Union Insurance and I joined with Arjuna at P&A Brokers, still in the insurance field. So up to 2006, 46 years, I was in the mercantile sector. Right? So then the next lot is I went to Sri Lanka cricket. So during that time, up to 46 years, I coached the clubs. I coached the companies, mercantile companies, starting with Unicella, Ceylon Bank, Commercial Bank, became C Division champions, B Division champions, came to the A Division champions. Schools, I did St. Benedict's for 3 years, I did St. Peter's for 5 years, I went to Royal for 3 years, came back to St. Peter's for 3 years. This was all while working, not as full-time. But when I left St. Peter's after that, 2006, that was a full-time with Sri Lanka cricket for 10 years. So that was the thing, how it went through.
Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.